Hi Earth signs, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. So this is going to be a love and spirituality reading for the rest of April, and this will be for Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. And you can check your sun, moon, and Venus sign whenever I do these element readings. And I'll also be doing an extended video as well, so I'll leave the link to that in the description box down below. So, Earth signs, when I was shuffling on your energy earlier, I got the Seven of Wands, the Sun card in reverse, and the Fool card in reverse. So some of you are feeling very defensive, feeling like you are just wanting to be to yourself, like you're not wanting people in your space. I think that some of you may have come out of a very draining situation, and now your guard is just up and you are just really trying to keep the wrong people away from you, or you could be trying to keep everyone away from you is what I'm hearing. Just feeling very defensive, like I said, very guarded, very sensitive, because like I said, it seems like some of you came out of a very like a very draining sort of cycle, or you're just at this space in your life where you feel very drained and you feel very sensitive. So it's like you're just trying to protect your energy, because when you're hurt or when you're heartbroken, you absorb other people's energy more easily. So your natural reaction, or most people's natural reaction when it comes to heartache, is to kind of isolate themselves and stay alone. And I think that a lot of people don't know why they do that, but on a subconscious level, they're understanding that their energy is more open when they're heartbroken, and therefore they have to kind of stay away from people. And with the Fool card being in the reverse, it's talking about a lack of faith and a lack of trust. So some of you could just have a hard time seeing the light at the end of the tunnel right now. It's kind of hard to convince yourself that things are going to get better. So energy is just a little bit dark here, but let's see what the cards say and give you some advice moving forward. I'm getting, for a small group of you, like a very small group, could be only one person, it's feeling this way because, you're feeling this way because someone decided not to take a leap of faith with you, meaning someone chose to let things go instead of starting over or instead of working on it. And so that's what kind of drove you into this kind of depressive state. But I think that situation was draining anyway, but I feel like you still wanted to work it out in some way. I think, like I said, I think that's for a very small group of you though. So let's see past messages for Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. Past messages for Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. Seven of Cups, confusion and illusion. Seven of Swords. This Seven of Swords keeps coming out in every reading. Oh my God. Seven of Swords, Seven of Cups. World card in reverse. Okay. Seven of Cups. Confusion, being in your head a lot, trying to figure things out. And this is in the past that you were in this energy. I'm thinking that a lot of you were dealing with this Seven of Swords person, someone who is deceptive, someone who is not who they say they are, and they leave you, or they leave people in general, in a state of confusion because they're not telling the truth. And people who are very manipulative, this is a tactic that they love to use, because when you put someone in a state of confusion, they most likely won't leave because they want to gain clarity about what's going on. And so they're more likely to stay stuck when they're confused. See what I'm saying? So that is a tactic that I've noticed that a lot of manipulative or abusive people do use. With the World card being in reverse, it's like a cycle that's stuck. So you could have been just kind of going in circles with this person, like the same thing over and over again. It's like, what I'm hearing is like giving someone the opportunity to mistreat you over and over and over again, because you kind of see their true colors, but then you're kind of questioning your own judgment. So then you keep the situation going, and then they do something else, and then they do something else. It's like that, what I'm saying in my head, like a circle, like a cycle. Let me pull to clarify. And this doesn't have to be just romantic. This could be family. This can be a work situation. I'm thinking that a lot of you are just really fed up. And that's a theme for the other signs that I read for as well. It's just feeling of just being kind of fed up with being stuck and just wanting to move forward. But then still there's this sense of confusion about how to move forward. So when you were stuck in the situation, it was confusion about what's going on, like, excuse me, what's going on behind the scenes. I don't understand this person. I can't figure them out. And then when you think about the future, it's also confusing because you kind of don't know where to go from here. But that's past energy, but I want to clarify each of these. The Seven of Cups about the Eight of Swords. I swear, I mean the Nine of Swords. All of the signs are getting the exact same cards. It's so strange. The Nine of Swords is here. So in the past, like I said, there was this state of just being in confusion. Someone could have purposely been keeping you stuck in confusion. Just like a lot of late night anxiety, bad dreams, anxiousness, just being very hurt. You know how when your heart is broken and you're thinking about that person right before bed and it's so painful, and then as soon as you wake up in the morning, you wake up and you're still in pain and you're still heartbroken. It's like that sort of energy. I hate that energy. Like, I hate being in that state. Being heartbroken, just, it's a terrible feeling because you can't even, like, you don't have any control over it. You have to just let it play out. I can't stand that. Because I'm an Aquarius and I'm like, oh my God, is this going to go away? Like, how long am I have to deal with this? And some of you could be feeling like that. Yeah, earth signs especially, because earth signs like to get things done. You know, they're very focused on being productive and getting things done. And this energy, it just stops you from doing so. So you could be very frustrated, or you could have been very frustrated about the fact that you were even kept in the dark, because it's like, wow, not only are you keeping things from me, but then on top of that, it's like I can't even focus on the things I need to focus on now because I have to constantly be thinking about you, or I'm heartbroken so I can barely focus. And it's just like a lot of frustration is what I'm feeling. Let me pull one more for that Seven of Cups. Star card, but there's definitely healing, so that's a good thing. Some of you could have been dealing with an Aquarius, but I do feel like through this anxiety, this stress, this pain, this heartache, there was a lot of healing that was happening. I'm seeing that there was a lot of healing that was going on while you sleep. So you could have, like, you could have been receiving spiritual healing in your sleep. I don't know much about that. I've heard about that before, but I can't really go into detail about it. But I have heard that sometimes you can call on your angels or your guides or source or your higher self or something along those lines to kind of heal your emotional body while you are sleeping. I have heard of that before, but I can't really go into detail because I've never really studied up on it. But that's what it's looking like to me, that you were being kind of healed in the process of this pain. Also, some of you, this situation could have triggered your spiritual awakening. You could have started to just really question life and like what your purpose is and what you're here for, and could have really started getting into spirituality. So this could have been, like I said, a spiritual awakening, dark night of the soul sort of energy. Let me pull for the Seven of Swords. Oh. The Ace of Wands, but I'm not sure if that was in the reverse. Let me pull again. What is the Seven of Swords about? The Magician card. The World in reverse. See, it's like the same cards coming out, and this is a completely different deck. So the Magician card and the World card in reverse. So I think that the person you were dealing with was purposely keeping this cycle stuck. That's the only way I can read this. With the Magician and the World in reverse, and then deception with it. It's like someone purposely keeping a cycle stuck. Not telling the truth purposely to try to keep someone stuck on them. God, ridiculous energy. This is also talking about a lot of you are starting to see the ways in which you may have deceived yourself in the past, like the ways that you may have lied to yourself. Like if you have been living in some sort of illusion, you could be starting to see through that illusion now, kind of like waking up from, I'm hearing like waking up from a dream. So I'm guessing that like you had on rose-colored glasses when it came to a certain situation, and now you're starting to like snap out of it. But also I feel like it's not just in relation to romantic love, like it's not just in relation to relationships. I think that in life in general, you have been deceived by people, and I'm getting that it's something, it's something that's deeper than just people have lied to you. I think that people have convinced you that you're a bad person, or they've convinced you that you have no worth. Oh, okay, that's heavy. And that has been holding you back for your whole entire life. Like literally, I'm seeing like a whole life of being held back because people have planted these thoughts into your mind that you're not good enough, or that you're not worthy enough. Like you're like, people who have treated you badly have taken such a toll on your self-esteem that it has interfered with your life, with a lot of your life thus far. So you could be like someone who has dreams or goals or plans, or you want to be in love, you want to be married. It's like you want those things, but because of people from your past who treated you a certain way, it has really affected you or impacted your confidence, and that has been keeping you stuck from actually going after the things that you want. Oh boy, that's heavy. So the World card in reverse. Pull one more. Two of Cups. Three of Cups. Okay, I mean Three of Swords in reverse. Okay, so this is a good thing because it looks like in the past you finally did accept the ending of a soulmate connection, and you were working towards healing. And I think that a lot of you realize that the longer you held on to this situation, the more heartache it would be. So it's like you kind of just came to the conclusion that you need to let it go. That's what I always say about like letting soulmate situations go. It's like you really can't lose by letting go, because there's only two things that can happen when you let someone go. Either one, they can change and heal while they're gone and then come back and then you both can start over. Or two, they'll never change, but you will heal and then the universe will bring in a new soulmate to you. So you really can't lose when you let go. You really can't. But when you hold on, you can lose, because when you hold on, there's really not many good things that can happen from holding on. You know, it keeps you stuck. It keeps you in your head, like you can't focus. So it's like weighing out the pros and cons. There's more pros to letting go. See what I'm saying? So I think that some of you are or were aware of that. So let's see for the present position. Let's see what's going on in the present. Scorpio. I mean, oh, why did I say Scorpio? Some of you could be dealing with Scorpio or could have Scorpio in your chart. But let's see what's going on in the present for the earth signs: Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. The Knight of Swords, the Strength card, the King of Wands. Okay, so some of you, with the Knight of Swords being here, the communication could be cut between you and someone. This could also talk about someone who just has a very reckless mouth, so they kind of fly off the handle and say whatever is on their mind when they are angry or upset, and they just don't really care if they hurt someone. That could be you, or that could be the other person. But overall, I'm feeling like this Knight of Swords energy is more positive than anything else, because I do feel like it had to happen in order for this cycle to close out. Let me clarify this because the message is kind of confusing. What is this Knight of Swords about? Especially with it coming up under the Seven of Cups, I feel like some of you could have been kind of demanding the truth, and it's like when you want to speak to this person, because they're being so deceptive, it kind of triggers you and pisses you off, and then you could just start just popping off at the mouth and just like saying whatever comes to mind, like confrontational energy. But I don't feel like it's in, that's why I'm saying I think this is your energy possibly, because it doesn't feel like it's in a malicious way, like I'm just gonna attack someone just because. It feels more like a defending yourself, speaking your mind, speaking your piece. It feels more like that to me for some reason. Let me pull one more. Ooh, okay. Devil card. Fool card. Okay, so, yikes. With the Devil card coming up with the Knight of Swords, there is a lot of toxicity that surrounds this Knight of Swords energy. So I'm thinking that it may have started out with you just kind of speaking your piece and defending yourself, or just saying how you feel, but eventually it can start to spiral into something toxic. So for example, if someone was deceiving you and you cut them off or they cut you off, it can start out with you, sending a message like, I really think we should talk this out, like, very calmly. And it's like, the more the person doesn't respond, or the more dismissive the person is, or the more lies you find out, it's like the more angry and belligerent you get, and you just start like spitting venom at them, is what I'm hearing. But again, I don't feel like that's your fault. I mean, yeah, you could practice better self-control. But if someone's like deceiving you, or if someone is lying to you or keeping things in the dark, or just someone just not treating you the way you deserve to be treated, then yes, that is going to be very triggering. So I can imagine, or I can understand why you would be going off on someone. But with the Knight of Swords being here in the reverse also, for those of you who it's not about the communication being angry, it's more so about the communication being cut. I feel like that kind of triggers you and really brought out a dark side of you. Like that could have really brought out your shadow side. So if you have any type of codependency, love addiction, abandonment issues, rejection issues, it's like all of those things coming to the surface once communication was cut with this person. And I feel like this sense of hopelessness with the Fool card being in reverse, because it's like not being able to see light at the end of the tunnel, kind of feeling like I'm going to be stuck in this energy forever. And it's easy to fall into that mindset when you're in devil energy, because it feels so restrictive, because it's all of our wounds coming to the surface. It's all of our trauma coming to the surface. And it's very hard to see past that darkness. It just feels like it's never going to end, but it is going to, because the Star card is here. And like I said, the Star card talks about enlightenment and healing. So it is going to pass, even though it doesn't feel like it. So the Strength card, so you're being asked to be very strong in the present moment. Of course, with the Devil card being here, it's like you need a lot of strength to overcome the Devil card. Because like I said, the Devil card is like things that are ingrained in you that are not good for you. So like I said, any type of addictions, love addictions, toxicity, anything like that. It's like any buried darkness that's inside of you is coming to the surface, and you're needing strength to overcome this. And also faith is what I'm hearing with this card, because I feel like spiritual healing is necessary in this situation. But this is a good thing though, because when all of your shadow comes to the surface, and like your trauma and everything that has been buried, it's like it can finally be cleared out. Because if you look at the Strength card, it's like the beast, or the lion, I guess you could say, in the Strength card is representing your lower self, meaning is representing all of the shadow aspects of yourself. So like I said, codependency, addiction, like a pull towards toxic relationships from your past. It's like all of those things are being represented by this lion. And then your higher self would be I guess you could say the woman, the angel in the card, basically taming the lower self. So it's like you learning how to transmute any dark energy that's inside of you, like calling it to the light in order for it to no longer interfere with your life. I hope I'm explaining that right, because all of us, like I said, have that shadow. All of us have those negative or toxic traits. And the first thing people try to do with those traits is to suppress them. Right? So if you're someone who gets very, very clingy and like obsessive with your partners, you could be trying to suppress that and acting like that's not you, or just not wanting to face the facts that that's what happens when you're in a relationship. But when you ignore your shadow, you ignore your negative traits, they actually become bigger, louder, and worse. And a lot of people don't know that. They think, oh, if I just ignore it, it'll go away, when it actually does the opposite. So that's why a lot of these relationships and these soulmate cycles has a lot to do with bringing the shadow to the surface, so that then you can learn how to tame it and control it instead of trying to suppress it. People who suppress their shadows, those are the darkest people. Like those are the people who, trust, you've met a few in your life, trust me. People who live in fear, shame. Usually they're not very nice people. They'll try to impose their beliefs or their fear or shame onto you. That's how you know that they have buried their shadow. So let me pull one more for this Strength card. So yeah, it's time to start embracing yourself fully. Even the negative parts of yourself is going to be tremendously healing for you. 5 of Wands. Yeah, so there's a lot of conflict. I'm thinking that this is inner conflict. It could also be conflict in your environment though, with the 5 of Wands, but I'm thinking this is more so inner conflict and you just needing strength. It's so interesting because I was just reading earlier that the way you can tell the difference between I guess you could say normal human being and a psychopath is that psychopaths don't have inner conflict. So inner conflict is a good thing. I know some people don't like it because it's uncomfortable to have inner conflict. You just want to be sure of yourself. You don't want to keep fighting with yourself. But that's a sure sign that you still have empathy and that you still have a sound mind. Because like I said, I was just reading how psychopaths do not have inner conflict. They're just very, very bold with the things they do and the things they say, and they have no inner conflict at all. So inner conflict is a good thing. It means you're human, or it means that you're still in touch with your heart space. So let's pull the King of Wands, or let's clarify the King of Wands. Oh my God, this Nine of Wands just wants to keep coming out in every reading. So the King of Wands and the Nine of Wands. So it's looking like a lot of you are wanting to take action forward, but your past, like I said before, your past traumas, the things that you've been through are what's holding you back. This could also be talking about the person that you were dealing with has this King of Wands energy, someone who's very, I'm hearing obnoxious, arrogant, egotistical, or they very well could just remind you of one of your parents, is what I'm seeing. Let me pull one more for that. But for the most part, for most of you, I feel like this is you not taking action towards the things that you want in life because of the things you've been through in the past. It's kind of like paralyzing you, keeping you stuck. Like you could be writing out a whole plan, like, all right, this is what I'm going to do today. This is what I'm going to get done. And then next thing you know, the day ends and you've got nothing accomplished. And that's because subconsciously you are still not fully recovered from the things that happened in your past where you felt like a failure. And so it's hard for you to focus on anything. The Four of Wands. Yep, this could talk about a home environment. So I'm thinking that this is something with childhood, of course. That's usually what it stems back to. You just feeling like you don't have a place, like you just don't have a home. Oh, that's sad. It's like just feeling so traumatized by like the things that you've been through and just looking back on your life at like all of the hardships, all of the pain, and just feeling like you don't belong because of it. And I feel like the person you were dealing with could have just amplified that feeling by not keeping you safe, by not protecting you. When I say protect you, I mean like protecting your feelings, being loyal to you. Like by not doing that, it's like it just kind of pushed a button to where you're reminded that you feel like you are unloved, or you feel like you just don't have a place here, you don't have a home. But I feel like this whole situation is going to show you that you can have a home within yourself. You know, that you are home. When you turn inward and you heal yourself and you love yourself and you nurture yourself, that is your home. So a lot of people spend a lot of time searching for home outside of themselves, or that feeling of home, when it's already with them. And I think that that's what this situation is trying to tell you or teach you. Let's pull for the future position. Also, I've been doing in my extendeds, I've been doing closure readings, basically, because for those of you who are new to my channel, you may not know this, but I've mentioned this before, that I don't like doing cross-watching or like what's the ex doing and stuff like that, because that can keep people stuck on situations that they need to move on from. But I've been guided to do these closure readings on my Vimeo channel. Well, I start them on here and end them on Vimeo, where basically I kind of look into the other person's energy just to give you some sort of peace of mind or closure when it comes to them. So let's pull your future cards first, and then we'll look at the person that you were dealing with. Future position for earth signs. Ace of Swords. Star. Four of Cups. Okay, Ace of Swords. Lack of clarity. So it looks like if you're still trying to figure out what happened with that person, or you're trying to really sit and make sense of it all, I feel like you're not going to be able to. I think some things are just you're not meant to understand, or you're not meant to make sense of them. A part of the lesson is learning how to move on without making sense of them. But we'll look more at that in the extended. And then we have the Star, and we also have the Four of Cups. So with these two, this does let me know that even though you still do have a tie to the past and you can still be somewhat fixated on it, that there is healing in that. So I'm thinking that you examining the past is going to be a good thing for you, because you're learning something that's very important for you to know on your life path or on your journey. And sometimes when we move forward too quickly without examining what happened, we can miss the lesson. and then we'll have to repeat the lesson. So I think that there is, like I said, a reason why you're stuck or you're fixated on this, or you can't stop thinking about it, or it keeps dragging you back mentally. Because I just really think that there's something that's meant to be taught. But we'll look more at that in the extended. Let's pull 3 for the other person's energy. Temperance card. You could have been dealing with the Sagittarius. 2 of Cups. So definitely soulmate energy. Sorry if the camera froze. I'm not sure if it froze, because I just got a message that popped up. So if it froze, that's why. Temperance, 2 of Cups. So soulmate energy definitely with this person. The Hermit. So we have Virgo here, and we have Sagittarius. And we also have the 2 of Cups, which is the soulmate card. So this is the energy of the person that you were dealing with. It's very clear that they are aware of the soulmate connection that you both had. With them being in hermit mode, they could just be in isolation right now and doing some soul searching, trying to balance out their energy. This is very different from the other readings that I've done, like in terms of looking at the other person's energy, because this person looks like they actually are doing soul searching. The other videos or the other readings that I've done, the other person was kind of just trying to be blind and not see what's going on, like not really wanting to acknowledge the connection or what's happening. But this person, it looks like it's very different. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to finish this over on Vimeo. I will leave the link to that down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys over on my Vimeo channel. Bye.